fellow Christian fiction lovers, welcome to another video. Today I am going to be doing a video that's going to take me quite a while to complete because I'm going to be doing it through the whole month of March. This video is so random and I've never tried anything like it before. Yeah, basically I am going to be asking Siri or like using just a random number generator to pick the next book that I'm going to read, and the way I'm going to do that is, this is my TBR here. We have quite a wide variety. We've got classics, Christian fiction, nonfiction, biographies, middle grade fiction, literally so many options. And I feel like I want to read all of them, but some more than others, and if I always just buy and read books that I want to read more than the ones that are lower on my TBR, I will never get to those lower ranking books. We're just gonna have it generated for me. Take the option out of it. Dolce has joined us. She was crying, so she's gonna help pick out the next book too. Oh, be nice. She's just gonna be here. Let's count how many there are. Okay, we have 26 options. So if we get more than 26, we'll just like go back through them. Pick a random number.
The answer is 64.
64. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 61, 62, 63, 64. Okay, I have a couple of special conditions for some of the books on this shelf. Calm yourself. Calm yourself. Okay, so this book here is the second book in the Journey of the Heart series by Colleen Coble. I have the first three, and one of my rules that I didn't tell you guys because I don't need to give all the stipulations at the beginning of the video is that if I landed on one of those books, I would read all three. They're so small. I will probably finish these in like 2 days. Let's not limit myself, 3 days. So I will start reading those this evening, and then I'll let you know my thoughts on them and then do the same thing again. You guys, we're starting this video off on a more negative note. I only read the first two, but I mean, hopefully this is everyone's goal, but like my goal is to only read what I enjoy, and I just wasn't enjoying these books, so the third one I'm just gonna put in the stack and assume that I wouldn't have liked it either, and I'm just gonna give these books away because maybe other people will like them. Just some simple thoughts on them. The stories moved too quickly. I know they're novellas, they're under 100 pages, but truly, like, the whole premise of this story could have been a novel, and it could have been a novel that I really enjoyed. And the first book could have been the prologue of the novel. Massively condensed, obviously. The characters were very unrealistic. The dialogue was so stiff and so obviously written, and no one ever tried to speak that dialogue out loud. Because if they had, they would have gone, oh, no one speaks like that in a normal conversation. Very stiff, very like formal dialogue in a sense, and these people are living out in the country. Like, it just didn't make sense. It was very unrealistic. I also felt like the love interest of the main character, Sarah, so her love interest, his name is Rand, he was so back and forth. Like, I was like, Sarah, honestly, I hope I don't know how this series ends, I don't really care, but honestly, I hope you do not end up with him because he's so temperamental and so, like, a red flag and toxic, like, just massive no. I don't care that you were in love with him when you were 16. He's not a good person. It was enough. It was enough. So I'm just gonna say no. We're gonna move on to the next book. Okay, we're back to the lovely TBR. I'm gonna get a random number, and those were books that I wasn't sure about. Like, I bought those just on a whim, and I wasn't super looking forward to reading them. I was just gonna read them eventually. Most of the books on here I do kind of want to read. There are only a couple that I'm skeptical about. So pick a random number.
The answer is 40.
40. Okay, that's more doable to count. I'm gonna go from the bottom this time. So like this way up. 37, 38, 39, 40. Ah, I do want to read this book so badly. Okay, this is How the Light Gets In by Jolina Petersheim. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is a Ruth retelling, I believe, and I got this in a big sale, literally $5, and I love Ruth retellings. Like with all of my heart, I love Ruth retellings, and just Ruth, like, I've read a couple of like actual like Ruth in the Bible from that perspective, you know, imagined of course, but just the story of Ruth is very near and dear. I've studied it a lot and I just like it. So, oh, I'm so excited to read this book. I have a feeling this is just gonna be a good book and a good turnaround for this video. So let's get to it. Well, Siri's random number selection decided that I was going to have a stellar read to make up for the last ones. How the Light Gets In was truly one of the most shocking books I have ever read. The end shook me. Like, I'm not even joking. I finished this book last night and I finished the book with a gaping mouth. I was like, there's no way this is happening. The last chapter was the biggest plot twist in the history of plot twists. Like, I don't mean to spoil it for you because I really want every single one of you to stop this video and go buy this book and read it right now. I was stunned. I was just like, there's no way that just happened. This changes everything. And I know I sound so dramatic right now, but there were two massive plot twists in this book that you do not see coming at all. Like, you would have to be a literal, like, psychic to see these coming. And it was crazy how this book, like, and here's the thing, it doesn't really have you on your toes. It's not a suspense novel. It's actually very chill and relaxed. It's tense. So it's not necessarily relaxed. It's a very tense, emotional story, and it handles very emotionally challenging topics and decisions in a very delicate manner, and I thought that aspect was handled beautifully. But the plot twists absolutely shake you to your core. I was like, there's no way that just happened. Like, this is why I read. It is books like this that is why I read, to find stories that just fill you with such, like, it makes you think it's real. It makes me think that this actually happened, and it didn't. It didn't happen. Which is kind of good and kind of bad. For the characters in this novel, it's good. They went through a lot. I gotta hand them that. They went through a lot. But this book is done. This video has redeemed itself. And we're gonna pick the next book, even though I'm still kind of coming off the high that this book gave me. Okay, I moved a little bit to get us all in frame. I'm so dark in this clip, aren't I? That's better. Pick a random number under 50.
That would be 49.
You guys heard me say under 50, right? Siri is not nice. 5, 46, 47, 48, 49. This is another book I really want to read. This is doing well for me. Okay, this is Daughter of Rome by Tessa Afshar. I have read Jewel of the Nile by her, and I really liked it, and I've been dying to read this book for forever. So yeah, I think this is going to be another really good read because I've heard great things about it. This was a great video idea. I was really smart to think of this. Okay, well, I just finished up Daughter of Rome and I did a whole reading vlog for it, so if you want to know a lot of my thoughts on it, you can check out that video, which I know is already out prior to this one. But overall, I loved it. It was an amazing biblical fiction read, and I definitely want to read more by Tessa Afshar. I'm so glad that I finally got around to reading it because it's been pretty high on my priority. This video just thankfully picked it up for me. Loved it, highly recommend it, but go watch the reading vlog for a lot more in-depth thoughts and let me know if you want more, because I have a lot of things that I want to say about this book, but I can't always fit them into shorter videos, so let me know. But now we gotta pick the next read. Okay, we have, we have this. I was gonna do it more like over there, but the light from the window was like making it really dark, so we're doing it from this angle. Okay, pick a random number under 50.
It's 10.
10, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, well this is going to be very different from what we've read so far. This is The Boys by Ron Howard and Clint Howard. They are brothers, and a lot of you guys are probably familiar with the Andy Griffith Show. And Ron Howard played Opie in the Andy Griffith Show, and I watched like every single episode of that show when I was a kid. And I've seen other things that Ron Howard's been in. I think he recently directed a movie that I loved. I've heard a lot of his work. And my grandma actually recommended this like memoir / biography that the two brothers wrote about being child actors, and that's kind of all I know about it. I read a lot of stuff about it when I bought it because I don't normally buy stuff like this, but one of my reading goals this year is to read, I think it's like 3 or 4 biographies / memoirs, so this will definitely help that. It'll be the first one, but this is very like out of my norm. I don't have a lot of expectations. It's a big book. It's hardback. I splurged for this one, but I had a gift card, so it's okay. So yeah, we're gonna read it. We're gonna see what I think, and probably won't see me for a little while because I think this is gonna take me a minute to get through. For you, it'll be 2 seconds. For me, it might be like a week and a half. Hello folks, I have not finished The Boys at all. I have started it and I'm kind of enjoying it so far, but I am about to leave for my spring break trip this year, and I'm planning on finishing The Boys during that trip, and I have to have another read. Of course I do. It'll be a long car ride. I'll want something to read on the way back, I'm sure. Even if I don't finish The Boys, just in case, it's always good to take a backup book. But to stay true to this video, I thought I would go ahead and pick it now. And yeah, that's it. That's just what we're doing in this clip, and then I'll talk about both books when I get home, or however it works out. I'll figure it out. Pick a random number under 50. Okay, I don't know why my phone is not talking to me, but it gave me 33. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the number we're going with. 31, 32, 33. Oh, this is gonna be so fun. I feel like this book is actually gonna be very like spring break vibes in a way. I don't know. But anyway, I got The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and I have really been wanting to read this book for a while. It's short, it's simple, it's sweet. Should I pick another one just in case? No, I highly doubt I would be able to get through more than 2 books in 1 week. That's just, I don't have that kind of reading stamina anymore. But anyway, that's the second book I will be taking on my trip, and I'll let you know my thoughts on both of them once I get back home. Hello, I am back from spring break, and I have finished both the books. Here are my short little reviews of these books. The Boys was such a cool book. I really enjoyed it. It's a very solid 3.5 read for me. I'm not a big fan of nonfiction, but this book did read like a believable story because it is about real lives, and so that made it obviously believable. I thought I knew a fair amount about Ron Howard's life, but I learned so much, especially about his personal life, like how he met his wife and like really how he got into directing. It was just so interesting. So this book mainly follows like Ron and Clint Howard's childhood through basically when Ron Howard decides, like through the first movie he directs, and then it kind of just ends there as like a happy, like this is when my career like really started developing. And I mean, it's real life, so it's not a happily ever after. I'm sure he endured more struggles, but I guess it kind of ended when they were both in their early 20-ish stage of life, which I thought was a nice close. Like it covered all of the stages of adolescence to early adulthood nicely. I thought at times both brothers kind of romanticized their life a little in unknowing ways. Some of you guys might know this. I am in a psychology class this semester at college, and I've started really analyzing things completely differently based on what I'm learning in that class. And one of the things I've been learning about is hindsight bias. And hindsight bias is basically like where you look at the past and think, oh, I knew that was the right choice, or I knew that was going to happen. And I feel like that influences a lot of the writing in this book, especially because when it was written, they're a lot older now. I don't know exactly how old, but they're definitely like past middle age, and a lot of the events that they wrote about happened decades and decades ago, so they don't have perfect memory of the events, and so I do think there's some hindsight bias that went into this book. Setting that aside, it was a wonderful read, and I did really like it, and I'm very glad my grandmother recommended it to me, and this video had me read it. And I would recommend it if you watched The Andy Griffith Show or Happy Days or even movies Ron Howard directed. It was super cool, and I loved learning about some of the behind scenes behind those shows that are just lovely. And then I read The Great Gatsby all in one day, believe it or not. I think I read, well, okay, it wasn't all in one day. I think it was in 2 days. I read the first, like, 3/4 of it the first day, and then the last quarter of it the next day. And it's short, so it was a simple read, and I don't know. I think it's a book that the thought of rereading it right now doesn't excite me at all, but I think give it some time and I will want to reread this book and absorb it differently. To be honest, I found it a bit weird and I didn't love it that much. I thought it was pretty anticlimactic, and I know there are some very dramatic twists and turns in this book, but I just didn't feel the drama and I didn't feel the crises the way that I think I was supposed to feel them. The writing style felt fairly detached, but for a classic it was more personable than I expected. It was just interesting, and I don't know, I gave it 3 stars, but I do think after some time I want to reread it because I know it has shaped culture and society, and I mean, people rave about F. Scott Fitzgerald's works, and I want to give it another chance. I'm not writing it off forever, but right now I think it's kind of weird, just being honest. Let me know if you have some thoughts on The Great Gatsby. Okay, and it is the 27th of March, which means I have time for one more book. Probably won't finish it in March, but we're just gonna pick it out now, and depending on the book, you'll probably see it again in another video. Maybe. We'll see. So, pick a random number under 50.
It's 15.
15, all right. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Ooh, okay, we're gonna end with a good book. Well, hopefully. Okay, so the number 15 got me Whose Ways These Are by Amanda Dykes. You guys might know I read Yours is the Night by Amanda Dykes last year, her most recent release, and thoroughly enjoyed it. So I got this one off of Thrift Books not too long ago, and it still actually has a Thrift Book sticker on it. So I shall start this today or tomorrow, and I don't know, it might be included in a later video, but I'll just let you know my expectations are pretty high because I really liked her last book. Hello, I have not finished Whose Waves These Are. I am halfway through it. I've spent like an hour or so reading it every evening, and I am enjoying it. I mean, it's not as like poetic of a narrative as the last Amanda Dykes book I read, but it is definitely still like, it's intriguing enough to keep reading, obviously. Like it's a good read so far, and I think the suspense is the element that is really propelling the story and just kind of asking like why did this happen, because it is somewhat of a dual timeline novel. I mean, kind of. We follow in like 1945 Robert Bliss, and then in 2001 we follow his great niece or something, and somehow he like had a very big impact on her childhood. Not entirely sure of the whole story. Again, I'm only halfway through it. There's a lot of unanswered questions that I'm sure are going to get answered. But anyway, that's how the first half of the book has been. I can only speak for the first half. I'm enjoying it. I might do a full review of this book on the channel. Let me know if you guys want that, but it's March 31st and I'm gonna post this tomorrow, April 1st. Let me know if you want more TBR videos like this. I loved doing this. I loved just kind of not knowing, but also knowing like I was just gonna get diversity in my reading, and started off not so great, then got a 5-star, just some really great books, some average books. I read a lot more this way as well because it was kind of encouraging me to keep reading so that I could get to the next fun surprise. I'd love to do other kinds of concepts, not just numbers. Maybe, I don't know, pick a word that I think would fit a book on my TBR and read that. Like, pick a random word. I don't know. Drop suggestions. I know it can be hard to keep the TBR picking, like selecting what book you're going to read next. It can be hard to keep it creative, and sometimes I fall into like, well, this is what I'm going to read next, and then this one, and then this one, and I don't have fun with it. I mean, I have fun reading the books, but I don't have fun with choosing which ones I'm going to read. And I don't know, for me, it's part of the process. Maybe I'm just on an island by myself in this, but let me know. Give me some fun ideas. I would love the ideas. But I am going to go finish Whose Waves These Are in the next couple of days. Let me know if you want to hear more about it. I'd love to talk more about it once I'm done with it. Let me know if you want more videos on the books I read this month. Some of them I already have reviews posted for, I know. And again, let me know if you want more TBR videos. I'd be happy to do that. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a like. And if you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video, whatever that is. Until then, bye!